let's take a look at how to do tire for kids wagon. I'm gonna hide this bed so that it doesn't come in a way. So it's already on the layer, so I'll turn that visibility off. So next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go under create polygon primitives and pipe, and then I'll rotate this to the side, set this to 90 degrees. And now let's play around with the size a bit so it can match the reference size. So height probably a little bit less because that's what I see in the image there. So something like that should be good. Now let's do subdivision axis almost like 40 so that it has more roundness. And then subdivision height, let's set to probably 5 or 6. Keep this number even. That'll make sure one edge is always in the center. So that should be it for this. Now I'm gonna delete history, edit, delete by type history, and you can also freeze transformation. So all these are back to 0. Now I'm gonna grab this edge, every other edge, to create a threading. So I'm gonna grab first one, center one, and the very last one in here. Alright, so once edges are selected, hit rotate key and rotate them a little bit like this. And check to make sure everything is rotated. Yeah, look like it is. Now while these edges are selected, I'm going to convert this into faces. How I'm going to do that is I'm going to go under select, convert selection to faces. Alright, that's the easy way to convert. Now next thing is I wanted to extrude to give some depth to the threading. Hit extrude, and we're going to pull this one a little bit out. That should be good enough depth for the threading. Now let's create a space between each of these boxes by keep faces together off. Now I did create those spaces, but they're too little. To increase those, I'm gonna go into offset and set this value to 0.005. That should be good enough. Or you can set to even 7 or big or small. Just visually see how it looks like. Alright, with that, while I have still everything selected, I wanted to go back to the edges. Go under select, convert selection to edges. Now see, all these edges are selected again. Now I wanted to select not just these edges, but also the one next to them, like all of these. So I can bevel them so their shape can be locked down. Now how do I grow that selection to the next edges? To grow selection, you need to hold shift and then greater than arrow from your keyboard, and hit it once, it's going to go to the next edges. And if you hit it twice, then it's going to go to the third edges, so on. And same way you can also shrink the selection by hold shift and less than arrow. Alright, so while these are selected and I grew selection once, now I'm going to hit bevel, and since there are a lot of edges, so it takes a little bit time to go over. Here we go, it's done. So now we got all 3 edges onto all these corners there. I'm going to go back to the object mode now. Let's delete history onto this. Delete by type history. I'm going to go back into the front view right in here, and I wanted to select this very last edges. So like this one and one on the other end. Control, and I want to drag onto all of them and take them out from the selection. Now I'm going to scale them inward by hitting R key from a keyboard, and then by using this little square so that it only scales in 2 axes. So just by something like that should be good enough. Now I'm going to select this edge and click on bevel. Now that's going to give me 2 edges onto both sides. I'll increase friction a little bit right here. And now this outer edge, I'm going to move up all the way like let's say around here. So I'm going to go right click edge and double click. Now why I'm moving this is because if you look closely, they're not 4 edge polygons, there are 5, because there's a little one was split by the bevel. So if we try to add a edge loop right now, it won't go through. If I select a multi-cut, hold control, see it's not doing anything because now they are not 4-sided polygons. So that's why we beveled this area. Let's say I'm going to double click on this. It's going to grab all that. Now I want to slide this all the way up to the outer like boundary of the tire. How? For this one, select that edge, go under mesh tools and then slide edge. And now it tells you here how to use this. So I'm gonna hold middle mouse. So something right around here is good. Maybe a little bit more closer. I'm gonna go close here because it's snapping really fast. Something around here is good enough. Alright, so now since we created this, all polygons inside this ring is 4-sided. Now this edge loop would completely work. If I select multi-cut, hold control, now you can see I can add anywhere I want. And I do want it to add one in the middle. While holding control, I'll hold shift at 50%. And this is 2, so we can add some roundness to the side of the tire. Select that edge that we just added and pull it out more than what you need, something like this. Now then bevel this one out, and that will automatically add 2 more, and then use the friction to keep like that roundness level up to where you want. Like let's say I want it up to here, then add a couple more segments here, and that's pretty good. Now we see that little round area coming there, and that's how I want my tire to be. Now to finish off this tire, and we need to create a lip down in this section. And how we're going to create that is I'm going to grab these two, and I'm going to extrude that area a little bit like this. Just that much is good enough, and there we go. Okay, now within this, now you can see here this lip is not on this side because and even though that curve is not there either. So what we need to do next is to duplicate this over. So I'm going to delete by type history. So we want it to duplicate from X negative to X positive. So from negative to positive. So on this side. Alright, so select tire, mesh, mirror option box, and set it to X positive and hit apply. Now with that, now you'll see your tire is going to be same exact on both sides. Alright, so we're done with the tire here. Last thing is to delete by type history and see if there is any. Okay, we don't have any translations. So we are ready to go into the rim portion next.